Okay, today in this video we are going to go over the calendar in the Influence FM system. And there's a couple new tools, and hopefully this helps you understand how this thing works. Basically, you put all your appointments in here, all your tasks, and then you also complete them. One of the new features here is the ability to show tasks or not on your calendar. Now, the task system is kind of separate from the calendar, but it's integrated with it. Tasks is more of a project management system, or really it's for things that are not related to a customer. Pick up donuts for the office, pick up a microphone for the studio, go pick up a piece of equipment, gather up all the stuff from the remote that you did last week. Stuff like that. That's when you'll use the task system. And a lot of times people like in production will have this off all the time. But sometimes sales reps will want to have that on so they can see their tasks amongst their appointments that they actually have set. So again, tasks are for things that are not related to a customer, and you can use those pretty much any way you want. But if it is related to a customer, make sure you're using the regular calendar. Okay, and so you can see I have some appointments in here, but let me show you how to add a new appointment. It's pretty easy. You just click and drag on the date and time that you want. And real quick, I'm going to go to the week view. I'm on the day view right now, but let's go to the week view, see what our week looks like. So we have a client that said, hey, come see us on Friday. Okay. Just clicked on Friday at 8 a.m. It automatically set the time and the date. We got to select the customer. You can see here the first option is always internal tasks. So that's how you set tasks. So again, you want to pick up donuts on Friday morning. Select internal task. And we'll go over tasks on another video, but let's take a client here. Let's just say Vision Associates. Okay. We set how long it's going to be. The type, is it in-person call to do reminder? Let's just say it's a to-do. And we can set it at high, medium, or low. If we set it on high, it'll add a little exclamation point on our appointments. And you know what? Actually, I can show you over here. You can see these appointments have a high priority because they have an exclamation point on them. And now we can select our concerning type. Now, I know you guys can't see this. It's our recording software. For some reason, you can't see these drop downs. But when you select the concerning type, I'll read what it says on this, kind of some of the examples on here. You have like closing annuals, change orders, CNAs, cold calls, copy calls, collection calls, stuff like that. And when you go and click in the system here, is what you want to do is make sure everything's in there. And if something's not in there, you just need to tell your manager, hey, we need this in the concerning types. Okay, so for now, I'm just going to select account servicing. Okay, what's the description? Well, we can put in whatever we want. We can say, okay, he wants to talk about his schedule. Now, everything you put in the description box is sent to your manager. So one thing nice about using your calendar really thoroughly is that the system does all the reporting for you. You don't have to explain every little nuance to your manager about what's going on. But also, it makes it so you can go back and look and see what you did with that customer in the past. It's nice to be able to go back and look at that history. So I can also set a reminder. So if I want to be emailed 10 minutes before, an hour before, 3 days before, I just click on add a reminder and it'll allow me to do that. And then also I can invite people to my appointment. So maybe I want Scott to go along with me. I also want Leah to go along with me. I can invite as many people as I want. And when I hit save on this, it's going to email them and let them know that I want them to go to this appointment with me. And it will also put it on their calendar as well. But I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these for now. The last thing, we got reoccurring. So we can set this to reoccur. And it pretty much works just like Gmail's or Outlook's reoccurring system. So it gives you an opportunity to do that. So I'm just going to hit save here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Let's go back to our day view. Okay, so let's get back to, so that's how you add a new appointment or a new task if you want. We're coming at this now that I've got my appointments in here. Now I need to say what happened. And that's really important in here, guys, is that when you have a current appointment, you need to go in there and tell it what happened. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, let's open the appointment. Simply click on the appointment. So let's start with this Vision. I'm not clicking on these because these are already done. I've already said what happened on those appointments and I've scheduled my next appointment, so I know I don't need to do anything on those. And I'll go over what the colors mean a little bit later in this video. But this is my first appointment that has not been done yet. Okay, it says, hey, what do you want to do on this? You want to complete it? Okay, did you complete it or did you not complete it? Okay, now if you didn't complete it, I would just reschedule it. I would just go to the reschedule tab and change it to a date on when I think I might be able to see that client. And I can go over here too and look at my calendar and see what days I have free. So you can scroll through your calendar over here without messing anything up. Oops, went too far. There we go. Okay, so I can reschedule it if I didn't complete it. Now, when would you want to use did not complete? Well, when the client's on vacation for the next 6 weeks, or they got sick and they're in the hospital or something, then you may want to use that. Then you'd want to explain to your manager, hey, look, I'm not neglecting this person, but they're on vacation for the next 6 weeks, blah, 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 blah. And that will get emailed to your manager in a report. Okay? Now, we come down here, and you'll notice something. It says future appointment already scheduled. The what's next is optional. Usually this is not optional, this what's next, what's your next step. The whole idea in the system is that you just always have a future appointment set for your clients. What's your next step? What's your next step? And the system just wants to make sure that you're always taking care of your clients. So I don't necessarily have to schedule a next appointment, do what we call what's next. We'll do that on the next one. I can just hit complete on this because you can see here, I got a future appointment there. Okay, cool. And hit save on that. And it's going to bring me to my next appointment. Let me go back to my day view here. Oh, looks like I chose did not complete. Oops. And that's why it's pink. Okay, and again, real quick, this is where your colors are, and we'll go over that a little bit more later, but you can see down here in the bottom left, there's those 4 little icons. That's the legend. Click on that. Tells you what the colors mean. Okay. Alright, so it automatically brought me to my next appointment, limits engineering. I closed out this appointment, it brought me to my next one chronologically. I can close this too. Alright, so and then I can skip appointments. Maybe I don't want to put in the details for limits engineering yet. Scoot over to key point instead. But let's go ahead and just go in order here. Okay, so it's saying, hey, what happened? Okay, was the contract signed? Was it presented with but no signature, or you did not complete it? All right. So if you didn't get the contract signed, you'd want to select that. But let's say we did get the contract signed. Okay. What was the type? Well, let's say it's it was a contract annual, and I was asking for $24,000. What is your contract total this time? Well, I was asking for 24, but I only got 18. Okay. How many months is it? Well, it's a 12-month. And then we can put in the details here. Okay. They love our stations. And I signed an annual. You can put whatever you want in here. Again, the information you put in these details boxes will get emailed to your manager. So, if I go to complete this, it won't let me this time. It says what's next. So the system is always asking you what's next on these appointments. Okay? And some of you might be thinking, well, I don't always know what's next. Fair enough, but just put something on your calendar so you have something on the radar in the future. That's either schedule an activity, they went out of business, you want to send them to the open prospects because you're not getting anywhere with them. When you send them to the open prospects, it gives another rep a chance to claim that customer. The I don't know doesn't actually do anything. It just explains some dialogue as to, hey, this is why you should always schedule your next appointment. Okay, schedule my next appointment. Okay. Again, I don't necessarily know what's next. Granted, I did just sell an annual. It'd probably be to write some copy or something like that. But let's pretend that I don't know what's next. So let's say, around the 14th, I need to do something for them. I can adjust this later. Nothing is set in stone in our calendar. So when you're doing these what's next activities, know that you can adjust them in the future, and know that even if you don't know what's next, just put something on your calendar so you have some kind of appointment in the future for that client. Again, let's look at 11/14. Actually, let's go make sure that that day is nice and clear for us. So I'm going to go up to the 14th. Probably be easier to look at my week view. Okay, 14th, it's completely empty. So I can scroll through my calendar and see if I'm busy on any of those days. So let's go back to the 14th. Okay, it looks like I'm completely wide open. Let's put this at 9 o'clock. Give me a chance to drink my coffee. And then select the type. So again, I know you can't see these drop downs, but in the type it has in-person, call, to-do, reminder, or email. Let's say it's a to-do. Priority, you can set this to high, medium, or low. You got high, medium, or low. I know you can't see those, but let's put it on high. That's going to put an exclamation point on my appointment on the calendar right at the front. And then the concerning type again. Well, it's probably going to be like a account servicing. I'm going to write some ads. Again, in these concerning types, your manager decides what's in there. I know you can't see this, but it's a drop-down menu that has a huge list of different concerning types that you can do on these appointments. Write some ads about their new equipment. Again, you can put in whatever you want there. And then you hit complete. Once you hit complete on this, it's going to bring me to my next appointment in the list. And let's go back to today. If you click today over here, it brings you right back to your day or your week, whatever week you're on, because I was on the week view, but let's go back to the day view. Okay, so it brought us down to Key Point Health Services. Okay, so here's my appointment, and I need to complete it. And you'll notice it is a CNA here. Okay, that's one of the concerning types. And when it is a CNA, on your next column over here, it'll ask you, did you complete it or did you not complete it? Let's say we did complete it. But we have an option here. Select a CNA template. Now, some of you may not have this. It depends if your manager wanted this feature turned on or off. If it's turned on, you'll actually have to fill out the questions to that CNA in the system. So I'm going to go ahead and select one of my CNAs, and I have multiple CNAs, and it depends on your radio station if you have multiple CNAs in there. I know you can't see this list, but here's my list. I have agency CNA, copy points CNA, and customer needs analysis. So I'm not sure what the difference between copy points CNA and the customer needs analysis, but let's go ahead and take a look. So I'm going to select let's do customer needs analysis. And there's all my questions. So I need to go through and put in what happened on that appointment. What was the CNA questions? Again, you don't have to be extremely thorough on this, but again, to be able to go back and look at all these is pretty nice. Just go through here and fill them all out. Okay, and then here's a little spot for just some additional stuff that you want to put down there. Now again, if I go to complete this, it's going to say what's next. We still have to do our next step. Well, we did a CNA. Well, what would our next step be? Let's go to schedule some kind of an appointment. You know, if we don't know when it is, again, we could go look at our calendar up above here and see what days we have free on the left there. But let's say they said, hey, come back and see us on the 8th at 10 a.m. Okay, it's going to be a 30-minute deal. I'm going to come back with some ads. Actually, before I actually go back and see them, I'd probably want to schedule an appointment to write the ads, right, and get those made. So let's put it down for the 5th on Monday. And I will go ahead and select to do. I know you can't see these in these types, but I selected to do. And we'll put it at high. We'll leave it at high. And then we'll come down here. Again, I know you can't see these, but we'll do account servicing and write ads for the clients. Okay. And then we hit complete here. And again, it's going to move us to our next appointment. I don't know if you noticed this, but we're on 1 of 1 now. This is kind of a nice system to know if you're done with all your appointments. We're on 1 of 1, but when we started it was at 1 of 4. So that meant I'm on my first appointment of 4 that I need to clear out. Your whole goal every day is to get this appointment down to 0, or these down to 0 of 0. That means I cleared out all my appointments. I don't have anything I need to do. I can go home and sleep at night because I know I did the what happened on the appointment, the outcome, and I also did my what's next on those appointments. So I can go home at night and sleep well, not have to worry about anything. Okay, so that's something that's kind of nice for sales reps to pay attention to, is trying to get that down to 0 of 0 every day, and then you know you don't have anything to worry about. And you can also scroll through your appointments using these arrows as well. And that's the same as like clicking on your next appointment. You can click on them too. But we are on our last appointment. Okay, so here we are. Write some new ads, change up their copy. Okay, so if I wrote some ads, I'd probably did complete it, and I would say I wrote some ads and they are great. And any other notes I want to put in there. Again, the more notes you put in here, the less you'll have to explain to your manager. Plus, you'll be able to go back and look and see exactly what you did for those clients. So, what's next? Again, I can't complete this unless I do my next step. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to schedule an activity, but I'm going to do this one as a closing call so you can see what that looks like. And I'm just going to pick some arbitrary dates and times, because that's not what I want to show you. I'm going to say put this as in person. Again, I'm going to keep it on high because that's going to put a little exclamation point on the calendar for me. So again, I'm selecting the concerning types. Now, I know you can't see this, but I'm going to go to up here. I'm going to choose a closing call annual. So that's one of the options here. Closing annual. Some new fields appeared. It says, hey, what campaign are you selling? If you're not selling a campaign, don't select anything. You can see here it says optional. Maybe you're just selling a regular old radio station ad campaign. Nothing special about it. But if you were selling some kind of campaign that's at your company, you would select this. How much are you asking for? Well, I'm asking for $24,000. My confidence level. Now, it's really important that you're honest on this. This system, it kind of has a little bit of artificial intelligence built in into where it has a threshold based on your sales of when your manager should be notified and when they should come in and help. So I'm going to put mine at 20%, okay? So I know that that's going to trigger something, but it's kind of like me raising my hand and going, hey, I need some help over here. You know, I'm asking for $24,000, but I'm only 20% confident. Now, your manager's going to get an email on this, and I'm going to put something in there like, I think I may be able to sell this client with some help. And then, you know, put in whatever other details I think I may want to put in there that would help my manager kind of help me come up with some ideas on how to close this person, or maybe even go with me on this appointment to help me close it. And again, there we are with our reminders. But maybe I want to be proactive and invite my manager. So maybe I want to invite Scott. So not only will he get a message from the system, he'll also get a message from me within the system, and he'll put it on his calendar when we hit complete there. Okay. So that's really the basis of the calendar. The most important thing to remember is that you put your appointments in and that you clear your appointments. You click on them, you go and complete them, and you say what your next step is. Now, I went through this pretty slow. As you get good with the system, for instance, we have one of our reps here, and by the way, we actually are in a radio station. Let's take, where's Dominic at? There's Dominic. He uses the system really well. Let's look at his calendar. And his is going to be pretty full, but he uses the system very, very well. So here's all his appointments. So basically is what he does. He goes through here, and I'm going to go to the week view. He reschedules a lot of this. A lot of this is like to-do stuff, and he doesn't get around to seeing a lot of it. He reschedules a lot. I know this looks intimidating, but he really uses this calendar to a T. But he just comes in here, he looks at the appointment, okay. And you can see his notes here. He didn't put a lot in there. He just put get with Heidi, okay. He's probably going to come here and put in the details as to what happened. Nothing much, typically. Sometimes if you need to put in more, you do. What's next? Schedule your appointment. Put in the date when you think you might see that client. The date, the time, in person. Let's say it's a copy call. Put in the details. And hit complete. Now, again, those of you that are new to a CRM are probably thinking, this takes a long time. Those of you that have used a CRM are probably thinking, okay, this is about, what it takes. It does take a little bit more time to actually write down your stuff. But if you aren't using the system, what are you using? Pad and paper? Well, you can lose pads and paper. Your manager doesn't know what's going on with everything. It's just nice to have everything in one system, always attached to that client. It's perfectly organized. And also, we have a $1,000 bounty. If you use this system for 2 weeks and you get trained on it and you're feeling confident on it And if it takes you longer than 25 minutes, Influence FM will give you $1,000. So it shouldn't take you more than 20, usually about 15. Dominic's schedule here is crazy. That's why his is so ridiculous, or I mean, that's why it might take him longer. But your typical schedule won't take you longer than 15-20 minutes to say what happened on your appointments and what's your next step. Okay, now if anybody has any questions for us, you can call us and you can get help down here, this big green button that says get help, and there's our 1-800 number. You can either call us or chat with us here, and we take a lot of pride in this. We answer this very, very quickly. Typically messaging with us, you'll get to someone faster, but you can also call. There's our 800 number, or message us and we will get back to you very quickly.